Hey there. Woo! Let me tell you. Welcome. You know what? It's 4:59. And y'all know I come on a little early just to get this party started because it's that time. But you just know that when I come on a little early, hold on, I didn't hear the thing say boom. There we go. When I come on a little early, it's just giving you time to get situated. Get your drink, get everything situated because we getting ready to go through the preliminaries in a minute. And then we're gonna get this party started. So, how y'all doing today? It's Thursday. You are one more day closer to the weekend. And it's going to be a wonderful weekend. So I know that I think let me look at my calendar. I think I looked at that right. When it comes to my calendar, I want to say that this is the last weekend. Hold on. This is one of the last weekends in August because then it's going to be September. So look at here. All right, it's 5:00. Let's get this party started. Hey there, Godiva. Y'all ready?
Conversations with Cookie B. We can talk about anything. Conversations with Cookie B. We'll talk about everything, my baby. Ooh, yeah, everything.
All right, y'all. Hey there. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Cookie B. Guess what? Do you know what today is? It's my anniversary. It surely is. Let me get these preliminaries out the way. Now, as you know, today, for the black birthdays, Young Thug. Today is August 20th. No, now this gets on my nerves because I put in today and it's giving me birthdays for August 19th. Today is the 20th. But Young Thug, happy birthday to you. Also, as I get this party started, Mr. Al Roker, who brings us the news. Happy birthday. He was the weather anchor. We all know that. Isaac Hayes. Yes. May he rest in peace. His birthday is today. He was born in 1942 and he died, I want to say August 10th, 2008. Don King, born in 1931. I want to say that last time I posted that he was born, is he 98, 96, 97? Yeah, he getting up there. Also, Kurt Cobain, rapper and singer born in 1989, best known for his platinum hit single, I Got a Drink in My Cup. Drank in my cup. Yeah. Hey there, Tammy. That was the birthdays that I have listed thus far, as well as today in Black History on August 20th, 1689, which is approximately 20 enslaved African Americans arrived at Point Crawford, modern day known as Fort Monroe, an English colony in Virginia, aboard a privateer ship called the White Lion. So this was one of the days where 20 of the odd kidnapped Angolonians was brought over. Yeah. 1830, the first National Negro Convention opened in Philadelphia, chaired by Bishop Richard Allen. Also in 1942, Isaac Hayes was born, and I think I already said that. Now, also, I want to tell you guys, today, I went live on my other page, Cassandra Baptiste page, because today is the anniversary of me arriving in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I just want to say thank you. It is also, now y'all know I pay attention to sequences and the way things happen. It is also one of the first days that I posted Conversations with Cookie B. This is when we got started. So I got a year anniversary with Conversations with Cookie B, but I remember I couldn't go live for a while because I didn't have enough time, but I was going live on my other page saying, don't forget to join. So when it came up in my timeline saying happy anniversary, and I'm like, Conversations with Cookie B is a year old. Give yourselves a hand. Thank you. Hey, Karen Jackson. And hey, Tilly. Today is also 21 years that I have been in Las Vegas, Nevada. And all I can say is thank you. Thank you to every path that I've crossed, every relationship that we still have or not have anymore. I'm okay with that because I learned something from it. I know that I thought about it because my first podcast when I did this was on trust issues. Wow. How ironic. So I'm grateful and thankful. My shirt that I have on today is Smoking Bullet Cigars. It is a Black-owned cigar company by Miss Alicia and her husband. Great smoke. Each cigar is named after a bullet. So there's the 9mm. There's I can't think of the rest of them. But anyway, if you haven't had it, she has a cigar line called Smoking Bullet. Tilly says, I'm glad you made that trek to Nevada. Yes, I did. It's not going to be a long show today because after this, I have also been gifted tickets to the Aces game. So me, Kanai, and the kids are going to, and my 2 grandkids, we're going to go to the Aces game to watch them play the Connecticut Suns. As you guys know, back in July, I went to the game in Arizona. So my great friend Ty, she gifted us with some more tickets because Miss Ranisha is going to be here to, coach her team, as well as we're going to be rooting for the Aces. Hey, Coco. Hey. So I do want to tell you once again, y'all just don't know the joy in my heart today. I've come a long way. God is not through with me yet. If you can, tell a friend, follow me. I do need to up my, membership. And when I say membership, I mean the number of viewers that I have. Even if they don't listen at the time that I'm on, they can always go back and listen. I wrote down so much stuff right here that I'm thankful for, but I also want to share with you, spiritually, the number 21. Spiritually, the number 21 symbolizes the end of a major life cycle. So we know when people say, hey, I'm 21, I can drink and all that stuff, which is pretty good. Personal growth and the manifestation of your thoughts into reality. Thank you, baby. Let's get to 400. I'm at 392 or 393 people that are following me. So let's get to 400. All I need is 10 to 12 people. Then I'm going to set more goals, but I am going to start getting more out there because, God is not through with me yet. I got some more plans. So in regards to back to spirituality with the number 21, it's a personal growth. It's a manifestation of your thoughts into reality. It blends the cooperative, patient energy of the number 2 with the independent energy, new beginning energy also of number 1. I do want to let you know that the number 21 also, symbolizes balance. It tells you to keep a peaceful mind, trust your inner voice, and stay positive about upcoming changes. Transition of seeing 21 means I'm moving past an old phase of my life, stepping up into a higher level of spiritual maturity. Also, for manifestation, it represents a reward of my hard work. My thoughts and actions are all coming together. Now, there's also a biblical meaning. In the scripture, 21 is tied to periods of great spiritual testing, rebellion, followed by breakthrough and divine restoration. Yes. Thank you. And maturing, because 21 also means that people mature. So I wanted to put that out there because this journey from me coming to Chicago to Las Vegas, 21 years. I told my story so many times and I don't mind telling it again. Y'all know I love me some numbers. I left Las Vegas, Nevada, August 19th at 5:02 in the morning, which is the time my daughter was born. Arrived here in Las Vegas, August 20th at 2:36 in the afternoon, which happens to be the time that I was born. So I'm grateful, thankful. Derek says, what up though? Big ups to you and your cakes. Thank you. Biblical. Yes. New beginnings. Yes. 21. And I know, Will, I just paid attention to that. Hey there. As I stated, I just know that I have so much more to come. So excited. I also want to bring you to awareness of, prayers to Gary, Indiana. As you know, Gary is right next door to Chicago, and they have been without water, power, electricity, a number of things for 9 days. If you know of anybody who's taken up donations, I think I came across and posted it on my page where someone's partnering with Help of Indiana or something like that because I know somebody on the Breakfast Club was taking calls where this lady said, how can you replace, excuse me, she had 2 deep freezers, deep freezer in her basement full of food, spoiled, refrigerators, spoiled. These people have not gone to work and there's no school because of Mother Nature. Now, I'm not going to be mad at Mother Nature for anything because we have this a long time coming when it comes to global warming. We're not paying attention to the things that she is telling us. So we have to pay attention to those things. I do want to let guys know also big things are coming. I'm in the process of getting my banner made so that even if I'm just sitting at the corner of my block and say, come on home, let's sit down and have a conversation going live, because there's a lot of things that are going on with mental health. Also, there's a young woman who from Chicago came out here to visit a dear friend, an old friend, decided to go to the CVS pharmacy up the street, never returned, 63 years old. I'm praying that her old friend, or whoever it is, allegedly, I'm hoping that he has not caused any harm to her. I don't know what could have happened, but we're going to pray for them. We really are going to pray for them. I'm grateful and thankful. Like I said, this is not going to be a long show today because I have gone to the Aces game. Okay, Will, what you got to say? What's going on? What's going on? Will, we going to the game today. So, guys, thank you. Thank you for my year journey with Conversations with Cookie B. It's been 1 year. 1 year. And I'm so happy that you guys on this journey with me, but I've been in Nevada for 21 years. So, Will, what's up, though?
What's going on? What's going on?
Where you been? What's been going on?
Well, took a job as a director of admissions for the west part of the country.
Uh-huh.
So I had some training, and it's hot, and we were up in Dallas. It's hot. It was a different kind of heat. Like, it was a different kind of heat.
Well, they have the humidity, I think.
Yeah. But I know it's going to be a short story, but I got to tell you some stuff that happened down there. I ain't get a chance to catch up with you when I got back. I was gone for 7 days.
Yes, you was. You was right. Please know, your presence was missed. So I am grateful and thankful for you on my journey, because I know that, and I want to give you your flowers now. You spoke into me saying, we going to get you. I've done this before. I do not take for granted any of the advice that you give me regarding this platform. And I know that it takes time to build, but I'm thanking you for helping me build my platform. So kudos to you. It's been 1 year already, 21 years in Vegas. Let me hear what's been going on, because you've been missed. You got questions. We got questions.
I got questions. I definitely got questions. And I need some questions from females, because I got some questions. But I will tell you this. I did lock down, and I'm announcing this to everybody, but I did lock down a location for us to do some taping for guests. That is 100% approved, and it's good to go. And so you can bring a guest in. We can set up cameras, lights, all that other stuff. And so, but we'll talk offline, and I'll tell you. But it's 100% done. It's done. So whenever we need to do it, and we can set up the time, we'll do that.
I'm trying not to get teary-eyed and cry, but I thank you. I thank you so much.
And you know, my brother from another mother has already agreed to do some stuff too with us, and so I'll give you all the details. But it was some positive bartering that took place to make that happen. But you know, connections is connections, right? So let me tell you, I'm down in Texas, and I realized a little alcohol is applied to people. And they looking at me side-eyed, right? And they were like, what do you mean you don't drink? I was like, I don't drink. Okay, and then once they got comfortable with me, yeah. So in all communities, the city going through, they going through.
Wait. Will, wherever you are, your voice is going in and out. So we said in all communities, what?
Said the same in other communities outside the African American community, the same thing we going through, and
Uh-huh.
challenges. Filters are different. Let me tell you.
Okay.
So,
You
what you,
driving?
I am. I am.
Okay, because you going in and out. We missing part of your conversation. Go ahead. Go ahead, tell us.
Okay, is it better now?
Yes, 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 yes. Go ahead.
Okay. So what I was saying was once we get past the alcohol and he don't drink, right? I started a simple conversation. I said, let me ask you something. I'm on a podcast every so often, and we talk about male and female relationships, and I have this theory about the reacher and the settler. Well, they love the reacher and the settler, right? Everybody agreed about that. But then one lady was like, well, all women are settling and all men are reaching.
Oh,
And before I could say anything, their friend locked in and was like, no, you were reaching for person X. And she was like, well, person X had something to reach for. But she was like, but that's how you got your husband because you were reaching. Her husband
oh,
was sitting there. And we had lots of conversations about it. It was, and then they said, well, I said, well, what filters did you have? And she was like, I had no filters. And he was like, yes, you did have filters. If I
oh.
was 5'7", you wouldn't have dated me. So
Okay.
then I said, well, the filters that I know of, and I talked about the 6 feet, and these are all professional people, mind you. So everybody there is 6 figures plus. So I went to the 6 feet, 6 pack, 6 inches, all of that good stuff. And she goes, well, he hit most of those.
Okay.
When I tell you, everybody head flew over to him because you could see all the females was like, well, we know he makes 6 figures. We know he's 6 feet. And then it kind of hit everybody at the same time, like, oh. And then she was like, I'm just joking. And like, all the dudes was like, bro, your woman just put you out there like that, right? So anyway, it was what started at 9 o'clock, ended up to go at 1 in the morning of just great conversation about relationships. It was very much positive arguing. We
Okay.
didn't break up any happy homes or anything like that. But I really mean this, and I was the only African American there.
Now, I was going to ask you about the demographic because I was going to say, so was you the only one?
I was the
Okay.
only African American. And when I tell you, these individuals are going through the same thing we go through, but
Right. But,
one thing that I saw, and this lady said this, and I'm not stretching this at all. She said, my mother raised me and my sister to find our spouse in college.
oh,
You don't hear me though. My mother raised me and my sister to find our spouses in college. But what do we say in our community? You strong, you independent, go to college, right? Then you get married afterwards, but make
right.
sure you can take care of yourself. They went to college looking for their spouse, and they both found their spouse in college.
In college. Oh, well, that's an eye opener.
I was kind of shocked and stunned about that because now we all can go back to college and think about the whole dating in college. And if you think
Yeah.
about now, if you think about right now, a lot of women don't want to date a dude in college because we have the mentality is I want my man already together. I don't want him, trying to build. I don't want, I mean, I'm not saying all. There are some that saying we're going to build together and I'm going to hold him up and he going to hold me up. But when I tell you, they were taught to look at a man, find out what he's doing in class, what is his path, is he pre-law, pre-med, pre-whatever, is he doing well in class, are you making sure he's studying, and then all that support, and what happens? They get themselves a doctor, a lawyer,
Hmm.
businessman, family ties, and that's why that legacy, yeah,
Okay.
think about that, that's why that legacy is strong because they're teaching them. go to college and find your man in college. Don't find, I mean, your high school sweetheart is cool because I'm a high school sweetheart, but
Hmm.
don't find that dude on the job. No, 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 no. You find your man in college and you're going to build that foundation.
Now, Tracy says, why would we think that they are any different? That they wouldn't have the same social issues? Tracy, it's just me, and this is just me. I think they handle their social issues differently. And that's why I be thinking, I'm not saying that people of other colors don't have issues. They men cheat and all that stuff. But I just think they handle it different to me. And I can't speak on them because I'm not white, I'm not Hispanic, I'm not Asian. No, none of that. But we know that there are so many social differences, financial differences, and things like that. I just think they handle it differently. Tracy also says, I have a few friends and acquaintances who marry college sweethearts. Now, I don't know if that was their agenda, but to have him just tell that story and say their agenda, their mom told them, while you in college, look for your husband.
But this was in
That,
high school. Mom was teaching them in high school. No, 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 you don't deal with that. You find your husband in college.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She was,
We happen upon like high school sweethearts like you and other people, but I would never tell my daughter your purpose is to go to school, but then find your husband while you're in school. I mean, while you're in college. I couldn't see my mom telling me that. I just couldn't. But I'm glad it worked out for them. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad it worked out for them. But I find that's a little strange. Tracy says, I grew up in a very diverse communities and school. Yeah, but I apologize. I didn't. I grew
yeah,
up on the South Side with black people, so we weren't. My mother told me to go to school, like he said. You go to school, you get your education, you graduate, get you a job with some benefits, pension, insurance, blah, blah, blah. A husband will come.
yeah.
And that's how we
So,
was taught. But go ahead.
all right, let me give you the Tyler Perry start part of this. So then we talked
Oh,
about relationships, marriages, and what happens when he steps out or she steps out. And so it was a lot of discussion about that. The thing that I found funny is this lady said, if my husband decided to step out, I would understand. I don't know what that means, but she said I would understand. So I said, okay, well, what do you mean you'll understand?
that's
And
what
so
I'm saying. What do you understand?
right, so then
Go
she was explaining and said in her family in the South that it was understood that the breadwinner husband could have a mistress as long as he could afford it. So she didn't want to give up her lifestyle for the I guess the monogamy of a relationship. So it was one of those that they didn't talk about it, but it was understood. And he understood the guidelines, she understood the guidelines, but it was acceptable for a wealthy Southern gentleman to have a mistress in her family. So that
Now let
led
me
me to
ask,
say, now I
what
wanted to be
what
like, well, did your
what
grandfather have a mistress? Or
what part of the South was this?
they were Kentucky. I think they were
Oh,
Kentucky, that area, Kentucky, Alabama, that area.
I just wondered. I just wondered. No disrespect to nobody. I just wondered. I know.
Okay.
Jay says most of taught our college bound daughters to be independent, to be dependent instead of interdependent. And Tracy says, "Damn, yeah." I know that we have our own culture or things that have happened in our culture where dad may have lived, your brother or sister may have lived 2 blocks away if
Oh,
dad
around the
stepped
corner.
out.
Around the corner.
But she said she's okay. I find that, maybe it's cheaper to keep her. Maybe she said, you know what, that's less I got to do. Because he can go get it from her, but I'm going to still live in this house. I'm going to still drive my Mercedes. I'm still going to do blah, blah, blah.
That was it. That was it. It was the lifestyle. Like she wanted the lifestyle. And, again, if you get, obviously biblically is wrong, right? But when I
Yeah.
tell you, and I was like, well, I got questions, right? Because mine was blown. Like she's just,
She
and
said it's okay though.
yeah, she said she didn't say it was okay. She said it was understood.
So we don't break generational curses. We don't. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
that's a
what I'm
cultural thing
saying.
with us.
Right,
Maybe
that's
that's a
what I'm
cultural
saying.
thing with
Like,
us.
but now, mind you, let's be realistic. You and I have had that conversation before where we knew there were some Rolling Stones out there. Like you said, your cousins could be right around the corner and y'all were playing and didn't even know, right? But
Right.
the ladies knew. The ladies knew. Mama knew who that lady was down the street, and that lady down the street knew who Mama was, right? But like, Daddy wasn't working. He had that type of job where he was not home for 3 days a week. Like something
Yeah.
was up, right? But
Right.
the point I'm making of it is, it was a lot of similarities in culture. It's just the
Yeah.
boldness of how she said it. Like, oh, y'all don't do that. Well, not like you do it, but like, no, they're not gonna be okay like that. So, but just to have those conversations, and it just shows that people want to talk about it, right? Because we're older now. Mind you, that crowd was an older crowd. There were some young 20s and 30-year-olds in there, and mind you, successful people, highly
Okay.
educated people. But it was like I said, when they got loose and they started talking, yeah, they started talking, and it was like, wow, like it was mind blowing.
Now Tracy said she was taught the same thing. Make sure you can take care of yourself. If your spouse is well off or took care of business or the finances, that's a plus. Now Tech School says on the reverse side, many of our young colorblind men were not taught how to lead from a male perspective. Well, we
I disagree. I disagree.
wait. Tony says I had a feeling they were an older crowd. Godiva says I've had someone tell me the same thing with her husband stepping out was understood. Went so far to reference the Bible, and I'm like, ma'am, you didn't marry King Solomon. You married David, old stinking ass.
Mind you,
Oh
I'm
my
in front of
God.
the church. I'm in front of the church right now. I love it. I love it.
Wait. So, Sony Love Techniques. Hi, Miss Sony. Welcome in. She said, this is my first time commenting on something that resonated with me. I told my mom I was going to find my spouse in college. I then said, I don't want to be a blue collar worker. She was insulted because my success was on blue collar work ethic. She said, well, where did that come from? Oh. So your mom, hold on, Sonia. I got to ask that. I got to dissect that. I know that, and thank you for commenting. Let me say that your mom told you the same thing. Find your spouse in college, and then you said, "I don't want a blue collar worker." She was insulted by your success was on a blue collar worker because your success was on a blue collar worker ethic, and she said, "Where did that come from?" Oh, wow. I don't think any of us have done anything that our mothers told us to do. Have we? I don't think so. And I thank you, Miss Sonia Loves Antiques, for commenting. And your comment is well taken. Believe me, Sonia. I thank you. But I'm trying to also understand because you're now dating somebody who's in the blue collar industry. So I would love for you to expound on that. But go ahead. Tech School says this perspective is based. Hold on. No, I said it. Oh, you said it. This perspective is based on large number of young men being raised by single mothers, not a nuclear family. Yeah, things have changed. I can say that. Hold on one moment. I'm going back in here so I can see y'all comments. Things have changed. I must say that. So Sonia, you're saying you said that. Well, Sonia, do you have any children? Have you ever told your daughter or son to date in college and then, look for your husband or anything like that in college? I like to know that. Inquiring minds want to know. We got questions. My first time commenting. Oh, you said no. I said it. Oh, you said that. Okay. So now dating, it was my drive to meet college graduates, not my mom's. Oh, oh,
Mm.
oh, okay. So your mom was living vicariously through you. I know that feeling and I understand. I understand that totally. That's good.
So let me ask you this: why don't we focus our young, and when we're talking giving date as, and again, I'm asking from a male perspective,
Okay.
why don't we tell or focus our young women to focus meeting their spouses or meeting their better halves or dating in college versus, high school or the guy around the corner or the guy around the block? Why do we send them off thinking, well, you got to go there, you got to make it on your own, you got to do it by yourself. So you get your degree, and then when you get out, you go get a good job because you don't need that man. They're literally told, and this is women are told, leave them boys alone down there. They're gonna knock you off your path. Leave them boys alone out there because they're gonna get you pregnant and you gonna come home. Leave them boys alone down there because they're gonna distract you from the goal of getting your degree. Whereas the other race is told, go down there, go meet your husband, go find these men there, and that's the dating pool you want to be in. Because think about the higher percentage of positive people and successful people in that pool versus around Tony around the block or Junebug or Peanut that's sitting on the corner.
Now, when you say from a male's perspective, I'm thinking that because I think as we get older and we recognize that the generations change, we don't want our daughters to be, I don't want to say less than, but we want our daughters to achieve more because we're realizing that there's a different type of man out there. I know Tracy says she wasn't raised to look for a husband and a white picket fence. Never groomed that way. She was raised to be a loving and respectful person and to be successful in everything that she did, but never thought about getting married, having kids, and what type of man to seek. Now, Jay says, as far as a mate, I did search for qualities that I admired in my mom. So from a male's perspective, he looked for qualities that he admired in his mom. She just happened to go to college. Sonia says,
that's most men. That's most men. We are to look at qualities that our mother has. If they have a positive relationship with their mom, they're going to date somebody that's like their mom.
Correct. And Angie says, a lot of women don't like younger men or men their age. So when it comes to grooming, quote unquote, more or less, when we're getting older, like I didn't want that for my daughter either, because I was thinking like my father raised me, go to college, do the such and such. But my dad was more or less, because he only had a ninth grade or 10th grade education, and then he had to go pick cotton. He said, no, college is the way to go. You got to have an education, because education was his thing for his children. So he said, you got to have an education. So you go to college, you do this, da, da, da. He didn't really focus on me finding a man or anything like that, because he was like, well, I guess maybe they thought eventually I'd find one. But that was more or less their education. Well, get your education. On my brother that's under me, it was like he told them, y'all made me go to high school. You can't make me go to college. So once he went to high school, it was let up off of him. He can do what he want to do. But the pressure, the foot was on my neck. Do this, do this, do this. And I was like, I didn't understand it. I understand it now. But back then I was like, well, let me go to school. And then I started thinking, well, throwing stuff in their face. Okay, well, you didn't go to school, but you got a trade. That's when I wanted to go to hair school. So I got a license to do hair. It was it was like me trying to say, look, I can do both. But my mom and dad never really said anything about a man, because I think for the longest they was just like, they thought I was a lesbian. They was like, she don't talk about no boys, she don't do such and such, so that's what she liked. But they never questioned it. They just never said no until I brought a man around, and they was like, oh, Well, where he from? What he do? We got the questions. Where he from? Where he go? Where he what he do for a living? You know, I think then they kind of look for, well, what potential does this man have with my daughter? And I'm like, well, I wasn't looking that far in advance, but this is just somebody I'm dating right now. I didn't look at all that. I didn't. Now, I mean, it's always been my heart's desire. Like, I do want to be a wife. I do want to be such and such. But back then, I was like, girl, I don't want no kids. I'm finna work for the post. I'm finna make this money, because I had material stuff that I was more into at that age. Now, I know that Jay says dependent mindset has helped create some of the challenges Black men and women encounter during the relationship carousel. Yeah, because I think
No, I disagree. I
well, I
disagree.
think, well, let me say this. I when it says dependent, I'm believing now, because of the way the world is. Let me say that.
Mm-hmm.
We always want them to have an education. Get your
Mm-hmm.
education, because that's how you get your job. That's how you get more money. But
Yep.
my daughter kind of checked me on that, because she was like, Mom, you don't have to, you can get your high school diploma and still make $1 million.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. But I
the
mean, I grew
percentage
up
of
old
chance,
school. I didn't see that. Go
but the
ahead.
percentage of chance is a lot lower. It's a lot lower, right?
Correct.
Well, what I'm saying is, when we talk about dependency, we are so out of our roles of where we should be that we no longer know how to get back. So we don't think about, again, and I'm going on some of the biblical side. We don't think about the man being the head of the household. We don't want to, as women, we don't want to submit to a male, right? So there are a lot of women that have been in roles that they had to be the breadwinner, they had to be the male in the relationship, and then as they try to get back into a relationship, they don't want to submit to that male and say, okay, now lead me. They don't want to do that. And there are a lot of men that don't step up and lead like they should lead, that they should be worth submitting to. Because let me just say this, Cookie, they still, I always say this, 80% of eligible women still go to 20% of the most ineligible men, still. Think about, and I'm using you to a point, think about your filters. If a man makes it all the way to your filters and the chosen one, right, the clouds open up and the light comes down and that man is standing there, that man is 6'4". I'm just saying. But with a lot of women, and I'm just being realistic and not being funny, there are a lot of filters that people have to go through to be selected. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a choice, you shouldn't have standards. Absolutely. But what I'm saying is sometimes those standards aren't set up for success. They're set up for what they want to look like. They're set up for what, like, again, and you know this to be fact. There are women that say that man has to make 6 figures. But you're saying that guy that makes $65,000 a year and living his best life and living right, he's not worthy? Not everybody can. If you go to percent, I'm not saying you, but if you look at the percentage of men and just Google it, that make 100,000 single by themselves, make $100,000, that pool is small. Then you go African American men, that pool gets even smaller.
Yeah.
Right, and then now go single men. I mean, non-married, not gay. You know, all those other filters. That pool gets smaller.
It does. Now, Jay says, hold on. Now, I'm sorry. Tilly says, Tracy says, well, Angie says a lot. Hey, Biggie Boo, a lot of men don't know how to lead. Tracy also says, as a woman, not true. Jay says, we can always choose not to pursue a relationship, but without the tools of interdependency, relationships can stall and falter, etc. Now, Sonia says, my man must lead. He must be smart and confident and love me. Yes, ma'am. Coco says, a woman would allow a man to lead if he knows how to lead. If he shows that he can't lead and puts a woman back in survival mode to do it all. Now, I totally agree with that because,
100%.
like you said,
Yes.
some men, they weren't raised to lead. Some men just, like, well, baby, what you want to do?
Hmm.
Well, it said whatever you want to do. Now I get it. You know, you want to make your happy wife, happy life. You want to make your spouse or your partner happy, but you still have to be able to lead. Now, when it comes to the pool of men and things like that, I get it with the statistics because a lot of people, and especially men and women, we're not making as much because our cost of living has increased. So the money you thought you was making doesn't look the same as especially as our parents, because you know the parents could come home with a check for $1,000 in a week, and you just know you had groceries, shoes, everything, and still had, let's say, $300 left over, gas in the car, everything. But things have increased. Times have changed. So I think it's making it harder, Will, seriously, to date, to find that person. Wait a minute. Somebody say it again. Oh, Angie says they don't know that what leading looks like because they never saw it. And then Tilly says,
let me go ahead. I'll let you read it. Go ahead.
Tilly says, submission is what we do to each other, to love a man that leads. Now, I know people talk about submission. Let me do this one last one. Jay says, in his experience, many couples stepped in independency, pull away when it gets too hot in the room. Go ahead, Will.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not knocking any of the females for saying what they're saying, but before you say that man doesn't know how to lead, ask yourself, do you know how to submit? Because if you're submitting and he's leading, and again, I'll talk about my personal relationship, because I have the final word in my house with the guidance of my wife, right?
Okay.
But I've never told her no. Now I have the final word, but I've never told her no. So think about that. She influences me. If she wants, well, I want this, or this, so I really want to do such and such and such, who am I to tell her no? Because my job is to make her happy, right? But if I know that something's about to go down or whatever, and I don't like it, and it's been with her family, I'm like, I don't like such and such, yeah, we're not doing that. And she's going to respect my decision on that.
Okay.
Now, does she have to ask me for permission to go out and all the other? Absolutely not.
Okay. So let me ask you this, if you mind being personal, what does submission look like for her? When you say submitting to you, what does that look like? Paint that picture.
So submitting to me in this is a sense of, if there's a bigger decision to be made, I'm going to have that final word. Okay. Right? So she's going to submit herself and allow me to make that word. Right? She's going to, if it's something to be done and whatever, and it's a decision that we both have to make. Now, again, I'm not, by no means does she have to run everything past me. Absolutely. Okay. Well, understood. Right? And those that know me or don't know me, okay, so she's a doctor, right? So she makes great income. She does certain things or whatever. And so if it comes out where she has a decision or she wants to run it by me, she's going to give her opinion, and she goes, well, what do you think? And that's a final decision. But we also, too, have to create that atmosphere, because Angie says, if he leads, we will submit. So your wife is comfortable enough, or any wife would be comfortable enough that I don't mind running this past him, because we're working as a partnership. If he leads, I'm submitting, and he too will submit to me. Now Tracy says, Will, yep, do you submit? 100%. So I can tell you like this: my safe comfort space, and I'm in front of the church. My safe comfort space is that time when things ain't got busy and life is stressful, and I didn't get off the plane and Tappan Nash. It was too late for me to go there to have a cigar and relax. Get out the shower, and I lay my head in her lap, and she put that hand that go right here, and she rubbed it. Whoo! Out like a light. Out like a light. Out like a light. So yes, I submit to my wife, but now I understand my role. So I understand my role. My wife knows that I would never let anybody disrespect her. My wife knows if we're out in public, she doesn't have to she doesn't have to think about the things I think about. Like, what is that man over by the door doing? Who is that person over there? Who is this person in the corner? Like, her safety is my top priority. Right? She knows not to touch a doorknob. She knows not to pull out a checkbook. She knows not to do anything but be herself and enjoy the moment and the time.
Now, let me ask you this, because Trina says, Will, why do you have to have the final word?
So she allows me to have that final word.
Okay.
Because again, she allows me to lead. Because I believe if you're the man in the household and you're leading your household as you are ordained to do, then you should have the final word. Now again, have the wisdom of Solomon to understand what her needs and wants are, and we try to make that happen. But if she's saying, hey, we got a choice between that new purse or paying the mortgage, yeah, I'm gonna say no, we're gonna pay the mortgage. Right? But think about this. How many households that decisions like that should be simple like that have been made in vain, and bad decisions and the communication is cut off, and mistakes are made like that. So again, I'm not saying it's normal, but after 26 years of marriage, yeah, there's a great understanding with it.
That works for you. Now, Jay said, as women, your ability to submit is what attracts a leader, if you know it or not. Waiting to submit afterwards is a red flag to real leaders. It's viewed as conditional and not authentic. Okay, Jay. Trina says, Trina good? Oh, exactly. Wait. Sonia Loves Antique says, submission is respecting your partner first, and after respect, accepting his final decision. Okay. When you know when to lead, we know when to let y'all take the lead. Thank you, Jay. I know that. Trina says, what if she's not agreeing with your final word, Will?
Then she still has to go with my decision.
Oh, so that's the submission.
Because that's the submission point, right? Because as a leader of the household, but she understands that trust is that whatever her heart's desire, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure she has her heart's desire. For example, we're getting to that point where we're in our early 50s, but 55 may be a point where she can retire. So I'm working more. I picked up a bigger job, right? I know, because I don't have a passion to quit working if I enjoy what I do, but I want to make sure she can retire, because as our first grandchild is coming, I know that's where her focus is going to be.
Okay.
So Gigi, yeah.
Go ahead.
So when Gigi gets the chance to play with the baby, right, because she doesn't have to worry about working or worry about the bills or any of that, and all the work that she's put in all those years, now she can enjoy herself in retirement. That's because I can be that leader, and she doesn't have to worry about that. So when we talked about the plan, it wasn't, no, baby, you got to work to 65 or 67. Like, nope, let's figure this out. Let's put it on paper and let's make it happen.
That's good. Now, Piggy Boo says, a lot of people say they agree. Piggy Boo says, Will, you have some good points when it comes to relationships. Well, Will is head of his couples ministry, so this is coming from a place of authenticity. So he knows what he's talking about. Karen said, don't forget your appointment. It's getting late. You're right. I know I'm going. It's not an appointment. It's just that I wanted to get there at a certain time, but that's okay. I'm enjoying talking to y'all. We'll be all right. The game don't start till 7. Tracy says, Will, exactly. We know when to submit. Tracy also says structure and planning. Folks, define your guidance on that. You can, and definitely things will work out. I know that, wait a minute, I thought Jay said something. Yeah, Jay says, Will, exactly. We know when to submit. So I know Trina also says, but why? Why? She still has, yes, your guidance is needed. Yes. Trina still says why. But I think that because they are married, I think because it has been 26 years, and in other relationships that are on my panel also, 30 years, you learn the yin and the yang. You know the hot and the cold. You know the up and the down. You know the yes and what definitely going to be a no. So I think you know your partner. You know who you've stuck with, because I don't think it would have lasted 20-some years. Now, sometimes it does end. But I think that we already knew, or you in that relationship already knew it was coming to an end. You just got the nerve to say, I'm done. But when you are truly working at your relationship, when you truly say, this is me and you through thick and thin, till death do us part, Man knows how to lead. A woman knows when to submit. You know when to, my man had a hard day. Baby, come on over here. Let me talk to you about something. You know to stroke or to hit the back of that neck or to the small of her back. You know, let me fix this coffee the way she wanted. You know, let me go ahead because he needs some old Uncle Nearest right now. And let me sit here and give him his space. I think that, is that you moving your head? I think that they know. They know. Tracy says, I believe people don't even understand the real definition of submission or submitting to your spouse. Now, I think we need to talk about that, and I'm gonna pin that comment because I want to know the difference between submission and submitting, and we're gonna talk about it. And Will Tech School says, Ed Will, are you a fellow Jedi?
I'm going to say this, and again, I am not going to sit here and try to paint that my relationship is perfect by any means. But I will tell you this. The one thing that we do is we have our safe word, and our safe word in the sense that when we get to the point where we're getting frustrated, we call out the safe word. That means we have to sit and talk about what's going on, right? Because communication is 100% the most valuable thing in your relationship. Because I don't go if you're going through the good and the bad, and have your focal points, right? I would tell every couple, and it's always the same thing, have three prime derivatives, right? And when I say that, it's your prime directives. One, I'm not going anywhere. So no matter what this conversation is going, or no matter what you think, I ain't going nowhere. So we can be mad, right? I'm not sleeping on the couch because I don't do that, and I ain't putting you on the couch because I ain't doing that. So we can turn back to back and be just as comfortable, right? So I ain't going nowhere. Two, I love you. Simple, right? But anything outside of what makes sense for that doesn't matter. So anything that you're thinking, if it goes against those two, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And number three, what's the most important thing? Time. It's time. You have to make time for each other. We get so busy in our structured lives that we're doing all these things, but are we putting time? Because if you think about when you first met this person, y'all both love bombing each other, right? Y'all laying on the phone at night for hours and hours, right? Cookie, you put the pager number in there and spell hello backwards and I love you with 475-431, right? You done did all that. You done got this man attention, so you love bombing, he love bombing. And then all of a sudden now, well, life happens. You have kids, you have careers, you have church, you have sorority, you have all these things that start putting space between you guys. And then we forget the order. We forget that it's God, your spouse, your kids, then your family. But we forget that because then we start putting things sometimes before God, but definitely before our spouse. We will put our career before our spouse, right? We will put all these things before our spouse, and we forget that order. And when we forget that order, the only way you start over and clear those slates is you go by your three things, and it starts with communication, it starts with love, and then it starts with I ain't going nowhere. Okay, I gotta get in church.
I know, and I'm gonna end with this comment. Will, thank you. It's welcome back. Congratulations on your new position. We all know you're gonna do great at it. I look forward to having our powwow when we talk about what's gonna happen with Conversations with Cookie B. And I thank you for your help and being on this journey with me. So please pray for all of us on this call, everybody. And we will continually pray for you because we thank you for all of your input. I was taking notes because we got some more conversations. We got some more questions that we need to have.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm going to end with this note, you guys, as Tracy says, and we'll marry somebody that's compatible with him. So I don't see them disagreeing on too many things he can trust. So I'm sorry, so I don't see him disagreeing on too many things because he can trust his wife. Now my thing, he can trust his wife as well as her trusting him. That is a great one. And I know Jay says it's simple. A ship can't have two captains. To the young ladies, if you run up on a young leading man, remember, he won't back down. I want to thank you guys. This has been an excellent talk. Another one in the books for Conversations with Cookie B. Don't forget, tell a friend, tune in. Thank you, Sonia, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Tune in and chime in anytime. Thank you for listening. Tell a friend. We're trying to get these numbers up, numbers up, numbers up. And I look forward to talking to you guys on Tuesday. Have a wonderful weekend. Who knows? I may go live again sometime this weekend because y'all know what my life be life and I be living. And I don't mind sharing it with you because I'm more or less an open book. So once again, happy anniversary to me. Happy anniversary to you. 21 years in Las Vegas, 1 year on this platform. I am so grateful and thankful, and I know that we have nothing but good things coming. Don't forget, tell a friend, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday for another exciting and interesting episode of Conversations with Cookie B. I love you guys, and thank you, thank you, thank you. Talk to you on Tuesday.